First, we're going to remove the negative terminal on the battery, and then we're going to remove the plastic cover over the top of the engine. And look at this part here. Here's a new part we got.
Well, you better believe it.
You know, this is the genuine Ford part from the dealer, and it comes from the factory with a trim cap over the end. Very nice little feature. It protects the little connectors from getting broke off. Now we're going to look down on the driver's side, just below the coil packs here, and it's connected right here on the side. There's an electrical connector and 3 little rubber hoses running to it. Oh, this is nice. The 2 screws that hold this in place are 8mm, and you can see they looks like they screw into plastic because they're coarse threaded, which means they're never going to freeze up and rust up and break off in there on you. Oh yeah, there it is in his hand. So now
Code I've had pop up on my code reader, it said wastegate management, and
once you get the valve unbolted, reach back in the back. You can see where I'm pointing to that little connector clip right. That clip just pushes onto a stud on the back corner of the engine. Once you lift that connector up off the stud, then it's easy to get more access to this hose here, and gives you a lot more room to pull the valve out and work on it. These long bent nose pliers are the perfect tool to remove the metal hose clamps that connect the hoses to the valve body. We used a pick tool to pry the hoses loose because they were really stuck on there after 10 years. So we get the pick tool between the stem and the rubber and work it around on both sides. Pretty easy. Get it there and there. And then when you're holding this in your hand, flip it upside down and get it there, there, and there. And then they were able to, once I got it cracked loose like that, it pulled right off without anything ripping or causing any damage. We mounted it to the block first with the 2 mounting screws, and now we're going to reach down in there and put the rubber hoses back in place and clip the clips. The middle one's just a push-out, doesn't have a retainer clip on it. There's the connector clip.
They got it like taped and everything from the factory from what it looks like. So what I ended up doing is I took my finger, got behind this clip right here, lifted that up, and then when I lifted it up I was able to squeeze it and it popped right out.
All right. Don't forget the hold down clamp on the back of the wire on the engine block.
I already pushed it down.
All right, excellent. And that job is done. That was so quick. I can't believe how fast that was. Can you guys believe this? Honest 20 minutes start to finish. Cover plate back on using, including state sales tax of 6%. It was $82.61.
Yep, just that solenoid alone. There's the part number if anybody needs help with it. I've had a nightmare. Spent like almost 2 weekends trying to figure it out.
Number that's on the box. If you were to take this to the dealership, they would have probably charged you more than that for the part, right?
Easily. If not,
and then a couple $100 in labor to put it on. So you're saving yourself at least $200 to $250 by doing it this way. And I've heard that a lot of times they like to replace the whole harness of those 3 rubber hoses I showed you clip on this. The dealers tend to like to replace that whole harness along with the valve. And how much is that, Dan?
About $1,700.
Isn't that insane? And this job is done. Less than 20 minutes start to finish. You are saving hundreds of dollars by doing this yourself. There's the tools we used. Pretty easy, eh? 10mm socket, 8mm socket, 2 different length extensions, a ratchet handle, a pick tool, and a bent nose needle nose plier, and a straight needle nose plier, all of them with a really long reach. I'll link the part number and the tools in the description of the video. I'm going to clear the code and fire this baby back up.